everybody and welcome back to Redline. And today we're filming from a very different location. We're in Vilamoura in Portugal, the home of sun, lovely restaurants and big boats. But we're here for a very specific reason today, and that is to drive this beautiful Aston Martin V8 Vantage S. And the reason we're here to drive it is because I've been told there's some very lovely mountain roads not far from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out in the car, see what it's like and explore the local area. Released in 2011, the Aston Martin V8 Vantage S was designed with keener drivers in mind. Upgrades included a bump in power, a quicker steering rack, stiffer suspension, new front brakes and wider tyres, which in turn improved handling and straight line performance. The 10 brake horsepower increase brought outputs from the 4.7 litre V8 engine up to 430 brake horsepower, which means the baby Aston flies to 62 miles an hour in just 4.5 seconds. The top speed is 189 miles an hour, and best of all, it sounds wonderful. So you're probably wondering why we've come all the way to Portugal to film a video about an Aston Martin V8 Vantage S that we could probably get our hands on quite easily in the UK. Well, there's a very good reason. This car actually belongs to my friend Julian, who lives over here in Portugal. He's the CEO of Intelligent Money, and basically they title sponsor the British GT Championship. And we're off to Portimao tomorrow with a couple of racing teams for a little bit of a test day. And while we were here, we thought, great, what we'll do is we'll grab the keys to Julian's Aston and we'll hit some of these mountain roads and see what it's like. And let me tell you, we have been having a huge amount of fun in this car. This car on these mountain roads, absolutely glorious. Now, obviously, it's an Aston Martin. It wasn't built to be, should we say, an out-and-out sports car. It's more of a, should we say, GT car. But one thing I will say is that this thing, first of all, it feels very nimble. But most importantly, this V8 engine sounds utterly, utterly glorious, especially in a location like this. We have a sport mode button, and when we press that, not only do we get increased throttle response, but the engine suddenly pipes up. And this thing, I mean, just listen. Oh yeah, the hills are alive with the sound of a V8 engine. Oh, glorious. And it's not just an engine car, this thing, it's a lovely little sports car actually. Front end's quite responsive, steering's lovely, got a really lovely weight to it. Brakes are half decent. Yeah, you can have a huge amount of fun with this thing, especially on a mountain road like this. And I mean, it's got 430 brake horsepower. Honestly, you don't need any more poke than this. I know I'm saying this a lot at the moment, but like I've driven crazy 700 horsepower supercars and they're wild, but honestly, like if you want fun, 400-ish horsepower, more than enough. And I mean, most importantly, this engine, like I said, is just, yeah, amazing throttle response. There's a bit of lean in the chassis. You can feel the weight of the car, but yeah, it's still a hell of a thing to drive. And because this is a relatively compact car, you can place it on the road really nicely. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for this. And when you want to shut it up, you just take it out of sport mode, and it just goes back to being a really lovely GT car. You can 100% get in one of these, drive it across Europe, because I mean it is really comfy in here. Drive it across Europe, find a great piece of driving road like this one, go for a hoon, admire the scenery, get in it, bugger off home again. It really is that type of car. Yeah, I like this a lot. And I mean, the cabin, getting on for 10 years old now, this car. The cabin's lovely. It's made with quality materials. I don't hear anything rattling around in here. Lots of lovely leather. These seats, half leather, half Alcantara steering wheel, leather around the dash and the door cards. It's just really, really well made. Yeah, lovely thing. I keep using the word lovely because it's probably the best way to describe this car, actually. The only thing I will say, the gearbox is very much of its time. So we've got kind of one of these, it's like a robotized manual. So, bit like you do with the Ferrari F1 gearboxes or the gearbox in the Aventador. When you want to change up a gear, you need to put a paddle but come off the accelerator a little bit just to smooth the gears out, otherwise it is quite clunky. But then when you put it back into sport mode, it's a very sharp box. And then when you go up a gear, it gives you a little kick in the back, which is quite exciting. Yeah, really, really lovely. And let's throw a shout out to this piece of road. Nice and smooth, not like UK roads. I actually haven't seen a pothole all day. Nice and smooth. Few straight bits. Anchor down on the brakes. Lots of twists and turns and switchbacks. Yeah, what an amazing stretch of road. Honestly, come to Portugal for good driving roads. They're here and they're a huge amount of fun. I just can't get over how great that engine sounds. Yep. So I've really enjoyed driving this, and yeah, Julian, thanks for throwing me the keys. We've had a hell of a time. If you've enjoyed watching this video, then give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we'll be able to get out and go abroad and do a few more trips like this, because this has been a huge amount of fun. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.